Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, can you please share the screen?
Just a second,
Sure,
please.
sure.
Is the screen visible now?
Yes,
Not yet.
Yes.
Okay, I can see it now. All right. Fine. Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the topic pertaining to the IELTS listening questions. So in this session, what we are going to learn what actually the types of questions that comes in your listening part, and how do we exactly approach those kind of questions. So we will be just showing a glimpse of it, what kind of question comes, how the exercises come, and how exactly you should be tackling those exercises. So before I proceed ahead, let us understand the overview of the IELTS listening section. So overall, in the IELTS part, you are going to have 40 questions total. There will be 4 different sections. Each section will consist of 10 different questions. So here, now what you will be facing over here, an audio will be played. This audio will be played only once. That's the biggest challenge with the listening part. You cannot listen to this audio again. So remember, it's obviously not going to be in our tone so that you can easily catch up. The audio that will be played will be in the, like it can be an American accent, British accent, or maybe the Canadian accent. It could be in any accent. So you need to be very careful. You need to understand what kind of words they are using, and especially you need to pay attention what's the pronunciation of those things, right? So when it comes to paper based and the computer based test, there is slight difference when it comes to writing the answers for the listening section. So the time limit remains the same. For the paper based test, will be provided 40 minutes of the time. So basically, for the first 28 to 30 minutes, you will be listening the audio, right? And then you will be provided extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers in the answer sheet. Now, please do remember one of the things, the people who are planning for a paper-based test, there is no separate time provided to you for the reading section. Often there is a confusion among the paper-based students कि अगर listening में मिला extra 10 minutes, so we are going to have for the reading section as well. So remember, there is no extra time provided to you for the reading section. 60 minutes में you have to meet in the complete 1 hour, you need to finish the entire paper, where you need to read the passage, you need to read the question, figure out the answers, and you need to write down all the answers within 60 minutes of the time. But when it comes to the listening section for the paper based students, you will be provided extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers in the answer sheet. Now we're coming up to the computer-based test. You will be given 28 to 30 minutes of the time. So now only the challenge is that you are not going to be provided any extra time to transfer your answers, right? So after the every section ends, you will be given some time, hardly a time of approximate 20 to 30 seconds to try to just recheck whatever you have written. So for the computer-based test, students, you need to listen, you need to read the questions, and you need to write the answer at the same time the moment you hear in the audio, because after your all the course section ends, you will be only given 2 to 3 minutes to recheck all the 40 questions, and obviously it's not possible to copy the answers within 2 minutes of the time. Now one thing, most of the students ask us that what for a CBT students, that can we write the answers on the rough page? So the answer is widely a no part. You cannot do not use your rough paper to write down your answers if you are taking a computer based test. As I already mentioned, you are not going to be provided any extra part of time, so you won't be left with much of the time to transfer your answers, and that will result in a very low band score, right? So please make sure the computer based students do not do this. Now let's have a look how these all 4 sections are divided exactly. So first section is actually you will be hearing a recording, and here you will be given 10 questions. As I already mentioned that there will be 10 every course, for every section. Now, in the first part of the conversation, you are going to hear a real life conversation that's going to between two people. So it's kind of a social context, in the sense the conversation is going to be regarding some kind of services, maybe some kind of bookings. So particularly it's related to the inquiry part of things. Maybe these two people are having a conversation related to some kind of delivery services. So most of the questions related to your names, number, address, date, time, location, you will be hearing in the first round of this first section or the first round. Now you move ahead to the second section, and the second section, again, there will be 10 questions. Again, it will be based on social context, and it will be a real life conversation again, but it is going to be monologue. Now, what is mean by monologue? Monologue means that only one person is speaking. So this conversation will be given by only one person, but since it is based on the social context, so there is a high chance that this person might be giving a speech publicly, might be telling you do's and the don'ts, as we hear when we take flight. So they tell the do's and the don'ts, right? So you might get, or making some sort of announcement. So particularly when we go to the railway junction, so you hear the audio, you hear one of the audios, they are making the announcement for the train when it's coming and when it's leaving, right? So that's a monologue kind of thing, but it is given and it is based on a social context. Now moving to the third section. In the third recording, again, there will be 10 questions, but the things is that it is going to be based on academic conversation. You might hear that two people are talking, or maybe more than two people are talking. Since it's an academic conversation, so the conversation can be related to the students. Maybe they are discussing about some kind of papers, maybe about some kind of discussion might be going on related to university or campus or the library. That's how the students will be discussing. But if the conversation is coming related to where professors are talking, so they might end up talking related to the lectures, how they should conduct it, or maybe about the any kind of research papers. So in the section 3, you will be hearing a conversation between two or more than two people. So one of the challenges for the section 3 is that since a lot of people are talking and it's going to be a kind of a candid discussion, so you might end up not listening the answers carefully. Why it happens? It happens exactly because you might start focusing on the accent or which person is saying what, rather than focusing on the asked question. So that becomes one of the challenging thing. Sometimes the talks overlap. So even if you have seen some kind of interviews or maybe debate discussions going on the internet or on the news channel, you see how the discussion goes, right? One people is speaking and the other one interrupts and the other one interrupts, right? This might be one of the challenging point for the section 3, and you can face it. So remember, what is your main objective of the listening section? It's to just solve the questions. Now for section 4, you will be hearing a recording again, but it will be a monologue and it's based on academic conversation. So remember one thing, the difficulty level increases for the listening section, listening as the section increases. The section 1 will be the easiest, while the section 4 is the most difficult and the challenging one. That's how all the 4 questions, that is how all the 4 sections are divided. Ma'am, you can please proceed ahead. Okay, now let us understand what are the types of questions that comes in your exam. So practically it's similar to what we get in the reading section as well. So we have sentence completion, what we call as fill in the blanks question. Then we have short answer questions, multiple choice questions, matching type, and then we have note completion. Sometimes we can go get a table completion and a form filling question. Apart from that, you can also get a map based question. So in the previous sessions, we already talked about distractors, what are distractors and what major role they do play in your listening section. So now once you are solving the questions for your listening part, you need to pay attention to your distractors over here so that you can make sure whether whatever you heard is the correct answer or not. Now moving ahead with the sentence completion or the short answer question. So obviously you will be provided with a question with a blank space. You just a second. Okay. Now the thing is that you need to figure it out what exactly the sentence is. So first thing, you need to listen carefully to the recording to find out the answers. Before you do that, please read the question very carefully. Read the instructions, whatever is being provided, because again, you will be provided instructions like no more than 3 words, only 1 word, only 2 words, no more than 2 words and or a number. So these kind of instructions will definitely be provided. Pay attention to it, read the question very carefully, check what exactly has been asked to you, try predicting the answers for the same, and mark your question keywords. Now pay attention to the context for the clues provided by the speakers to ensure accurate completion. Now just when you are listening to the particular question, just pay attention what exactly your speaker is trying to say and where are you hearing your keywords. Now again, please remember, though it's a listening section, it's not necessary that it's not the thing that you might not hear the synonyms, or maybe the questions are paraphrased. Both paraphrasing and synonyms are going to be widely used in your listening section as well. So once you're reading the question, please pay attention to the words for which you can hear the synonym in your audio part. It's not necessary the same sentence structure as written in the question will be stated by the speaker as well. Okay, that's what has that was it's written in the fifth point that the information. Shilpa, please mute yourself. Okay. Information provided in the recording may not be expressed using the exact words. That's what we call the synonyms of the words, right? For next thing, maybe you hear maybe a question talks about ban. Now if a person don't know what can be the other possible synonym of ban, there comes the difficulty level. Okay, so we must know what can be the possible synonym of ban. For example, it could be it's going to be a restriction. The speaker might use the word restriction, or he or she might use the word prohibit. Okay, so you need to be ready after reading the question that I can, for this particular word, I can expect the synonym by the speaker. Next, you should be prepared to reorganize synonyms or paraphrases that convey the same meaning. As I told you, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing, everyone knows now, but it's to rephrase the given statement in our own words, making sure I'm not changing the meaning of the original statement given to us. So even when you are underlining the question keywords, looking for the synonyms, expect what possible paraphrasing part your speaker can say. Right. Write your answer directly on the answer sheet or the computer screen provided as per the instructions given. So this direct answer to be followed for your CBT students, and for the paper-based students, for the first 30 minutes when you are listening the audio, please write down the answers on your question paper only. You will be provided 10 minutes extra time to transfer your answers. Right. Let's have a look at one of the recordings over here. So this is the transcript of the recording, and I want you to have a look at this recording and answer the questions that what was Sarah's inspiration for her latest cookbook that came from her. Okay, so what are the first and foremost, we need to underline what are the keywords. So we have Sarah, we have inspiration, cookbook, came from her. So practically we need to understand what the question is trying to ask us. Right, the question is asking us that from which thing she got inspired and wrote a cookbook. That what you have to look for. Please answer the question, and you can mention the answers in the chat box as well. Okay, came from her travels around the world. Okay. All right. Now see, travels around the world. Now if we have been solving the questions, you know they cannot cross this no more than 3 words limit, right? Okay, So what if the instruction says no more than 3 words? So what should be your exact answer? Anyone? What if the instructions, okay, sort of travels around world, okay, traveling the world, traveling, okay. All right. Okay, so the people who gave the answer as traveling around world was the correct answer, because it just clearly says that you have to write no more in under within 3 words of the time, 3 word limit. So obviously you can use this language, right? Okay, no need to change it into the other form. The complete answer was travel. Now, since the thing is that what you need to specifically pay attention to this thing is that first try to read the question. Next thing, underline the keywords of the question, right? And the third, just listen, predict the answer, like what exactly has been asked to you, and then listen to the once the audio starts, please listen to that questions very carefully, right? So if you can read the entire transcript written over here, so see how they are asked, how they keep on changing, right? So the interviewer is asking you the questions, so obviously these types of question you can expect in the round one itself. All right, ma'am, you can just move ahead. Okay. All right. Then we have the summary completion. Now, summary completion actually is a bit on a tricky side. Why is it so? Because what happens in this one, they basically give you one of the paragraphs. They will give you just, for example, just take assume one paragraph. They will leave certain fill-ups to for you, so that you can fill in the blanks after listening to the audio. So summary completion questions consist of a summary or incomplete passages with several gaps to be filled. Each gap represents a missing word or phrase that you need to listen for in the recording. The procedure remains the same, and read the instructions, underline the keywords of the entire passage that you got. Okay, now especially in short, marking the words that are written before and after the word. Now take and listen to the audio very carefully, and before you listen, try predicting the answers again. Whether can answer your be a number, can it be a name of anything, or can it be just a common word? Okay, so this type of question actually prevails in the section 4, which is the most challenging part of your test. Why becomes challenging? Because the conversation is not the conversation, sorry, it's a monologue, and it's based on your academic thing. So for the academic, you might hear the questions related to your biology, history, or the subjects like physics and chemistry, or maybe something related to environment, but that will be an academic topic only. Okay, and the next one, the recordings will be based on monologue discussing on academic topic as already mentioned. So before you listen, read through the summary, make a note of what kind of words you need for each gap, and just take a look. So what are the predictions you can think of? It might be a number, might be an adjective, might be a verb, might be some kind of a noun. So you need to take a prediction, and accordingly, so see what happens when you predict something. It actually will helps you a lot in correlating with the answer, right? It makes your concentration more and more better when you start hearing the audio. So take your if the people is using who are going with the CBT test, they can use their cursor as a pencil. While for the paper-based students, no, it's mandatory to use pencils for the listening and the reading section. So take your pencil, put up for like for every keyword or the synonym of the word that you're listening, put your pencil or cursor over there. It actually helps to increase your concentration, and it prevents you from any kind of distraction from anything. Ma'am, can you show the example for summary completion? Okay, this is how exactly a summary completion question looks like. So first, you will be given a set of instructions, as it says, no more than 3 words and or a number, right? So there is a kind of thing given that's related to the modular courses. Now, students study dash during each module. So means you need to predict the answer, whether answer will be a number, a noun, a verb, or an adjective. Then a module takes and the work is very dash. So how now if you look, students study during each module. So basically they're asking what are the things they study in every single module, right? So that's how you need to answer the question and predict the answers for the given type. This is just a small example that how the passages come. Obviously in your exam you will be facing a bit of a lengthy passage and quite complicated one, right? All you need to do is to underline the question keywords, place your pencil one by one. Once you hear the keyword, predict the answer beforehand, and you are good to go with your answers. I hope this much is clear to everyone. Now, moving ahead with the multiple choice questions, this is one of the most challenging type of questions that comes in your exam, right? So in the multiple choice questions, what you need to do, you need to select the correct answer from a set of options provided to you. So probably you might face two different types of questions in this. One, you can face the questions where you have to select one correct answer, right? So particularly they will give you the instructions like this: choose the correct option from A to C. Okay, so they are asking you to just select one correct option. Now there is a multiple or the list of answers where they will clearly state in the instructions. For example, they can say name 3 things suggested by Darwin. Okay, so you need to pay attention very closely that what 3 main important things Darwin has suggested in the audio part. Okay, so what will happen in the multiple choice questions, that when it comes to the options, whether it's going where you have to select a single answer or you need to go for the multiple answer, the thing is that no matter whatever options are provided, so examiner is going sorry, the speaker is going to say all the options when in the audio part. That becomes a challenging thing, that how we should tackle these kind of things when it comes in the listening section, how to pay attention to it, what words need to be listened, so that I can make sure my answers are correct, my option is correct. That is something that we do in the classes time. Okay, we take multiple type of questions there. We are going to guide you regarding this thing. So for now, just remember what is the type of question, what are the challenges. The biggest challenge is that even there are 10 options given, for example, the speaker is gonna say all the 10 options in the audio. That it's where the challenges start, which option is correct, which option is incorrect, right? Please, ma'am, can you slide it down?
Do you want me to take forward from here?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Now, these are the steps that are involved when you want to solve the MCQ based questions. Sabse pehle, be it any kind of question, first, the foremost thing that you have to do is you have to make yourself aware about the instructions. What is the instruction asking you? Is it like a simple multiple choice based question, or are you supposed to mark 2 or 3 answers? So first, what you have to do is the moment you get the question, make yourself familiar with the instruction part. See what can you write. See how many options are supposed to be clicked on, and what all options are needed to be marked upon depending upon the nature of the question. So first you're going to read the instructions, and then after that you have to carefully understand what has been asked. It remains true for any kind of question. You first need to understand what needs to be done, only then will you be able to do it completely. And now once you've read the instructions, come to the questions. If you're going for pen and paper, try to underline the keywords. The keywords are going to be your nouns, it can be your numbers, it can be the factual information which will not change. So if you're going for pen and paper, try to mark it, underline the keyword so that it will act as a cursor for you. And then after that, what you have to do is you have to remember that synonyms and paraphrasing is something that is going to be used extensively throughout the paper. So if you've come across any words, be prepared to listen to a particular synonym for it. Be prepared that, the exact same word will not be asked. They are going to paraphrase the question so that you don't get knee-jerked by when they ask you a particular question that does not come directly from the question itself. Okay. So remember that throughout the paper, they are going to use paraphrasing and synonyms. So be ready, buckle up for that. And when they do ask you, try to predict what kind of a synonym are they asking, or what could be the synonym of what they are saying. And then while marking the answers, predict which ones are correct, or at least if there are 2 of them, try to predict which one is correct. And then wherever you see that the correct one is not being provided, you just have to ignore certain types of MCQ in those kinds of questions. So then again, you will have to use the elimination method where you eliminate the wrong options with the right one. I hope it is clear till now. And the next is that you have to expect that you have to hear all the answers in the recording, not just the correct ones. So you have to listen to the audio very carefully so that you can eliminate the wrong ones and you can correct the right ones, because if you're not going to listen to all the options, of course, you're going to get confused. So while listening to the audio, pay attention to each and every audio, each and every aspect of the audio, so that you know what exactly needs to be eliminated and what needs to be checked upon, what needs to be corrected as a MCQ question. Now, here is an example. So if there are three options, like you must bring a pen, you may use a pen from the desk, and a pen is available for your use. Now, these are three different multiple choice answers, right? So you have to listen to all three in order to eliminate the wrong ones. And one thing that you have to remember is the answers are not going to be in the same order as you hear them in the recording. So first of all, you have to read the questions. You have to read all the MCQs so that you know what is the audio playing right now, because the audio will not read the options in the order. You might have the first option in the second one as the audio reads it out. So it is very important for you to read all the questions, read all the multiple choice options that are available, so that you can, again, eliminate the wrong answers. I hope till now it is clear. And then all the answers in the list will probably be included in the text. So you just need to carefully listen to identify the correct options. So now, whatever is going to be given in the options is going to be read out by the examiner, but the examiner is going to either refute certain options or going to give you the right options as well. So again, it is important for you to read the questions, read the options, so that when the examiner is debunking certain options, you know which ones they are and you can cross it on your sheet of paper. And if it is like, if you're going for computer-based, you can just mark the correct ones. Okay. Now, here is some question. So these are just for your reference. These are certain questions that may come in the paper, and we are going to solve such questions in the class itself. So when you're going to join the session, all kinds of questions are going to be done in the class itself, be it your group class or one-on-one basis. Just for your reference, we are showing you the kind of questions that come over here in the paper. So you have either a single answer sample, or you're going to be asked for a multiple choice of questions. So if it is a single choice question, you will have a question like this on the left hand side. And if it is like multiple MCQ, it is going to be like that. Amongst 6 or 7 options, you will be supposed to click on 3 or 4. So it's like that. So you need to understand the different type of MCQs that may come, so that when you actually get it in the examination time, you don't get shocked or you don't get confused that, I'm supposed to click on one of the options, or am I supposed to click on multiple options? So you have to understand the pattern as well. I hope it is clear till now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next kind of question is map-based question. In the map-based question, you're going to get a map in front, as the name suggests, you're going to get a map in front of you. And now it can be 2 kinds of map that they might ask you to complete. In the first map, you have your map, you will have certain information given, certain places, or maybe certain area given, and certain area is going to be not given, but you will have numbering all over the map. So that will act as a cursor for you, that when will answer 1 come, when will answer 2 come, where will answer 1 come, where will answer 2 come. And the other is, in the second kind of map, they give you a map and they give you options to solve it. So you will have multiple options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there are going to be names given. So you have to assign that particular place to the name. So there are 2 kinds of map. We are again going to solve all kinds of map in the class itself. So here what you have to do is, before the recording starts, first you have to take a very quick look at the map provided in the question booklet, so that you can familiarize yourself with all the layout of the map. You can see where are the certain places that are given. You can see, you can look out for any symbols or labels that are provided in the map. For example, in the map, they might have given it at the bottom of the map that you are here, or the map begins from here. If they have given you that, you have to make sure that you place your eye or you place the tip of your pencil at that particular place, because that is the stance from where the map is going to start. Then you have to identify the key locations. Now, the key locations are the locations that are already provided in the map. And you have to also listen to the instructions that are already given in the text. So you have to look for the particular information or particular kind of locations that are already given in the map, because they are going to act as your cursor. They are going to help you to navigate through the map, because they sometimes say right beneath the forest area. So you have to see, is there any forest area given in the map already? So that when they are going to say right beneath the forest area, you know that you have to come down from that particular area, or you have to come, there is a forest area and you have to come down. So use those location as your key cursors, so that you can actually use those locations to navigate throughout the map. And then you will have to listen for directions throughout the map. They're going to use directional based vocabulary. They're going to say, opposite, adjacent, far end, or in the northwestern area. So you have to listen to the directions. You have to make yourself familiar with both directional vocabulary and spatial vocabulary, so that you don't get confused when they use either of them. And then you have to use context clues. That means that you have to pay close attention to the context of the conversation or the context of the monologue, because sometimes the speaker is going to provide you information about distances, directions, or relationship between locations that can help you fill the missing details. Jaise ki, it says if you want to go to the, let's say, Park Street, take the next left from the coffee shop. Now, these are certain contexts that they have given you. There is going to be a coffee shop, and then you have to take a left from the coffee shop. Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello. So these are certain things that you have to keep in mind while doing the map-based questions. And don't get don't panic a lot, because in this session itself, we are going to help you throughout how to navigate through map-based question, how to do the MCQ, how to do the normal fill in the blank question. So we are going to do all of that in the session itself. And then again, I've already told you this again, that there are going to be two kinds of information that is going to be available in the map itself. Either they are going to talk about the spatial relationship, jaise ki ho gaya left, next to, across, on the winding road. These are the spatial relationship. Or they are going to talk about the directional vocabulary, jo ki tumhara north ho gaya, south ho gaya, east ho gaya, west ho gaya. So you have to listen very carefully about which spatial relationship or which spatial locations are they talking in the map, so that you don't go haywire and you don't really lose the track of the information that they are giving, because the answers come in order. And if you miss out on one particular place, chances are realignment is going to be very difficult. So listen very careful when they are speaking about the directions in the map. Then the next is to take notes. If you are allowed, try to jot down the key information or try to make a rough sketch of diagrams on your question booklets. Pratik, if you want to say something, please raise your hand so that ma'am it breaks my flow. I can't really hear. Ma'am, can you understand what? Okay. And then you have to understand that whether the information is given in the units or scales, this is not very relevant. But then if they are giving you already that the information or the unit of measurement is meter or kilometers, it will help you to understand or make a better grasp of the distances which are going to be represented in the map, and you will be able to interpret the map even easily. So in order to do these kinds of questions, you have to A, familiarize yourself with the map. B, if there is any given information already present in the map, make yourself familiar with that. C, know the spatial vocabulary, and D, know the directional vocabulary, so that you can follow throughout the map. And since the answers will always come in order, or the questions are going to be come in order, you don't really have to think whether from where the answer is going to come, because everything is going to come in order. You just have to see from where is one written, where is two written, where is three, because they're exactly there the answers are going to be present. I hope I've made myself clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Any question or any doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
It is related to the map. We can do rough. It was in the sixth part that we can draw a rough diagram or any rough map on the answer question booklet itself.
Yes, for
So
people.
yeah, in case we are taking computer based test, so we will be provided with a we won't be provided with a question booklet, neither we will be provided with a rough sheet. So how will we are going to do that?
See, for people who are going to go for computer-based, yes, you are not going to be provided with a question booklet, but you will still be provided with a rough sheet of paper. So if you want to make notes over there, you can do that. But then, yes, you will not be provided with a question booklet.
Okay, but time limit will be 30 minutes only. It won't be 40 minutes. So
No,
10 minutes won't be there. Huh?
yes, for people who are going for computer-based, you will not get 10 minutes extra. Why? Because simultaneously you will be typing down the answers on the screen. So like the next 10 minutes are completely redundant for you, but they still give you like 2 to 3 minutes to check your answer. And that is the time that you get to like see whether you've made the right answers or not. It's like
But
that.
rough sheet would be there, na? So that we can write answers on that.
Yes, rough sheet will be provided to you.
Okay, but time is but time is only 30 minutes. So, ma'am, how to increase the attention span to listen to what they are speaking and remembering it? How to increase the attention span?
You just have to stick to your 10 sets of questions, and you don't really have to pay much attention to what all is included in the audio. Just read the 10 questions and stay relevant and stick to your 10 questions. And the moment you're done with your answers, move to the next section. That is how you pay attention to it. And again, when you are going to practice in the session, you will be able to develop attention, because initially, like diversion is something that is very recurrent while you're practicing in a novice setting. But then once you develop the habit of listening to an audio to a prolonged time, it becomes a habit. So that will eventually develop.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. And the next type of question is matching questions. Now, what will you do? In the matching set of questions, what happens is you will have a set of options already provided, and this particular point of or this type of options will be in the form of either statements or descriptions or certain types of opinions or other type of information, and you need to match it with the mentioned recording. Okay. Now, the main challenge that comes over here is you because you see the questions in front of you, you start to analyze the question, and then a lot of confusion sets in. So first, the important thing that you have to do is you have to understand the relationship between the question stance and the question options. So what is the question and what are the set of options that are already given to you? You have to understand the relationship between the question and the options. And then you have to highlight the key options or the key part, which is again your keywords, and then you have to see whether it relates to the question options or not. And then once you have highlighted and once you have read the options, listen to the audio very carefully, because the questions when you listen to the audio and when the answers are coming, you will be able to eliminate the wrong options again. Here also, these are a little tricky questions, and it will require you some kind of practice, and then you will be able to understand these questions well. It's just that while the audio is playing, do not start reading the options. Then whenever they are going to provide you with the time, you have to before starting a particular part, and then in the middle of the part, and also after the one part is ended, they give you some time to look out for the next question. When they give you this time, you have to make use of it very efficiently. When they are giving you the time to read the questions, make sure you read all the options. Try to see is there any significant similarity between the options and the questions, so that when the answers are drawn out to you, or when the answers are given out to you, you can make you can draw similarity, and then you can also use the elimination method to eliminate the wrong answers. And again, this will take some time. It will not happen in a day or two, and that's why we urge you to join the session, so that you get all the kinds of practice material. And if you have any doubts, that gets also sorted in the class itself. Now here again, it is an example of the question. So the question says, what was Mary's feeling about things shared with Mr. Hayes? So things and feelings, you will have two options, and then you have to mark the correlation between the questions and answers. That is the kind of questions that you get. So here you have to listen to the audio very carefully so that once you get the options, you are able to mark the correct ones and eliminate the wrong answers. Okay. The next is your table completion questions. In the table completion question, again, you will have a table and there are going to be certain information given to you and some information will not be given to you. It can be like date, venue or any kind of an event. तो कुछ टेबल पे इवेंट एक दो दिया होगा, मे बी थर्ड इवेंट यू हैव टू राइट, कहीं पे टाइम दिया होगा, कहीं पे टाइम तुम्हें लिखना होगा, बट एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू कम इन ऑर्डर अगेन. सो यू हैव टू लिसन. First, you have to see the information which is already given, and then after that, you will have to write about the information which is not. ये fill in the blanks की तरीके का होता है, but इसमें table, in the form of table, the questions come. So again, make yourself familiar with the table of content which is already given. Make yourself familiar with what needs to be done first. Read all the information which is already given, so that when they give you the not given options, when you listen to the audio, you will be able to mark the options very easily. So that is another kind of question that comes. That is your table completion questions, where they give you a proper table where certain information will be given. Certain information would be required for the test taker to write down on the table or to complete the table. And while listening to the audio, once the answers are given out to you, you will be required to write down the missing information. And here also, they do not ask you to write very long answers. It's just going to be more than 2 words or sometimes even 3 words, not more than that. So these are the certain kinds of questions that come in the listening section. If you have any doubts, please do ask. Any questions, any doubts? Any, okay, thank you, Sabha. Anyone else who has any doubts?
Ma'am, Anirudh, I don't know who is, someone is asking, can you explain the last one?
What was the last one?
Last topic. In the sense, the note completion, are you talking about that?
The table completion one.
Table or note, whatever it is.
See, in the table completion one, yes, in the table completion questions, what will be in front of you would be, they're going to give you a table, okay? On the table or in that table, there are going to be certain information given to you. For example, time हो सकता है, place हो सकता है, या कोई भी event है वो कैसे progress होगा, उस तरीके की information दी हुई होगी. कुछ information already given होंगी, जैसे कि place हो सकता है, एक place दी हुई है, next event की place नहीं दी होगी, तो आपको maybe place लिखना है. So in the table format, certain information will be given to you, and certain information would be required from you to write it down on the table. And of course, the audio is going to be played to you. जो information already वहाँ पे दिया भी होगा, वो भी given out होगी. जो information here is the example of a table completion. See, here you have days, okay? तो पहले में they have given you days, okay? The next day आपको लिखना होगा. So पहले class activity दी हुई है. Next you will have to write. It's like that. They are going to give out the answers, which is already given also. They are going to give you the answers, which is in the form of a blank also. You just have to listen and answer it. I hope it is clear. You're welcome. Any questions or any doubts apart from this? Is everything clear and you don't really have any doubts?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then if everything is clear and nobody has a doubt, then we can definitely end the session. Thank you so much for joining, everyone.
All right. Please. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.